Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Edit Place. Recently on my main channel, I released this video that I spent like 80 hours on because I wanted to experiment mixing AI with traditional filmmaking. And no, this is not the way a lot of people are mixing AI, where they like film something and then use an AI generated clip. I wanted to actually blend the two worlds together with compositing. And I did this because I don't know how to do Blender. I don't know how to do like 3ds Max and all the fancy cool CGI and VFX that I know and love from movies. I set out to experiment and to see if AI can elevate things. But there's a lot of VFX in that film that has nothing to do with AI. And that's actually what I want to show you in this video. And more specifically, ironically, our AI character Giselle, and how I went about making this effect right here, where we have our characters on the couch, but one of them is a transparent AI. And I want to show you some ways that I would have liked to elevate this character even further if I had the time. So if you like this video, make sure you get subscribed here, and I'm going to plug the main channel video a couple times because I have a goal of hitting 100,000 views in a month on it. Me and the whole team worked really hard on it. So if you wouldn't mind going to give that video a watch after this one, it's going to be in the top link and comment down below. But for now, let's get into the effect. So the inspiration of this effect actually came from one of my favorite movies of all time, Blade Runner 2049, and the character Joy. I love the way Denis and the whole VFX team went about this character. It wasn't over the top, like glitchy all over the place, whatever. In certain shots, she seems almost completely opaque. You almost forget that she's a hologram, but then there will be these moments like when he just blew the smoke into her, or when she steps in front of a light, that you are reminded that she is indeed not real. Now, I wanted to take the same sort of characteristic with our character and actress Giselle. There are moments like this where there's a bright light behind her, and so I want her to be extra transparent, but sometimes she'll be in the background where there's clearly not a big light source behind her, and she looks almost like a completely real person. So to do an effect like this, you of course need two things. One is your plate, which is essentially the empty background that doesn't have any sort of characters, objects, whatever you're trying to remove from the scene. You need to see what's behind the scene if you don't want to spend a bunch of time, and if you don't have the skills to literally manually paint back in the missing areas. So if we want her to be transparent, we need to be able to see the couch behind her. So obviously a lot of people do this with just throwing your camera on the tripod, because that's going to be the easiest way to not have any inconsistencies with camera motion. But I have this really cool setup called the iFootage Shark Slider 2, paired with the DJI Ronin RS3 Pro. You can use 4 or 5. This isn't obviously sponsored by any of them, but it's a really cool setup that allows you to have precision camera control that is repeatable. So essentially I created A and B point, and the camera, I could just loop it back and forth however many times I wanted, and it's going to do the same exact movements at the same exact speed. And that gives you the exact motion that you need, to where this is now our clean plate. I probably should have had him also get off the couch just so it's like a fully clean plate, but it didn't really matter since he wasn't moving much, and there was no shadows being created or any of those issues. So all I need to do is layer this on top here, and then you need to sync up the first frames to make sure you're getting starting movement here. So let me go find where the camera stops. So now these should be pretty lined up. And now let me actually go ahead and just throw a simple color grade on here. So now if I go to, say, this spot where we can see her very clearly, if I take this and lower the opacity, obviously we pretty much have our effect already most of the way there. So she's transparent. Obviously his portion is also transparent. So if this was a lot more complex, then I would need to make a mask and track it. However, I think to save time, and because the shot was so easy, I literally just cropped the left side, kind of find your line that you want to put it on. I'm going to soften that line quite a bit, and you find just something that works. And then obviously you need to make sure that it doesn't overlap. So like right here, you can see that it starts over top of him. So I need to actually move that line a bit to the right, but then I need to make sure that it doesn't go all the way over to her. So because I'm having this issue, what I need to do is pretty simple keyframe. So I'm just going to start my crop left there. And then when it gets like here, by the time it starts touching her, I just need to put this in kind of its final resting spot. And that should basically do it. So now we should have no issues with cutting off his arm, cutting into her, because it's going to stop. And our scene stops here, so I don't need the rest of that. It looks like we do have a bit of travel right there. So one more keyframe. There we go. Now there's no issues with the crop. And you could literally stop here. I mean, that is the best part of this effect, is that it's so easy. But if I had the time to really elevate this effect, what I really would have loved to do is go in here, grab my mask, and I could use magic mask, but I actually don't need it to be very precise. And magic mask can be pretty hefty on the computer. And for the effect that I'm going to attempt on the rest of her, it just doesn't really matter. So I have her roughly masked here. I'm going to go into my window tracker and I'm going to track forward and back. Because Resolve is so stinking cool, it's pretty easy. And it should only get to the part of the clip anyway until she's completely out of frame. So now we have a pretty decent mask here. It's perfectly fine for what we're trying to do. So now if I open up my effects panel here, what I used in other areas of the film to add a little bit of texture, because like I said, a lot of time in Blade Runner, she looks almost opaque, like almost 90% regular human. Then sometimes it would just be somewhat transparent, but then she would have these moments where she did, glitch a little bit more, especially if something like walked through her or interacted with, it would kind of cause a disruption in the light patterns. And so that's where I would use like prism blur. So if I add that on top of here, you can see just what that did by dragging it on. Like it just adds a little extra like bit of like, ooh, something's going on here, because light is not only just being transparent, but it's actually wrapping around this object in a different way. And because it actually uses the light from the set, it's actually taking this light wrap from kind of our key source back here and wrapping it around her shoulder. Now you can play around with a bunch of these different effects. If you wanted to do something really kind of trippy, you could do like a edge detect. I would definitely play around with all these different lights, and the global blend is going to be your best friend for not making it look too campy. Yeah, it's definitely going to depend on your shot and what you're trying to do. Ooh, watercolor's cool. That like flat. Oh man, that like removes her face entirely. There's so many different directions that you could take this. Ultimately, what I tried to do is I liked the prism blur, especially on some of the other shots that had more vibrance. You really saw that separation of like RGB. You can somewhat, if I mess with the XY, you can see how it's like ghosting her a bit. And what I was asking my Resolve friends around, and this is where I'm not going to be able to show you because I haven't learned this skill yet, but in the Fusion, I wanted to create this almost like turbulence effect. I'm forgetting what Patrick Sterling told me is the word for it, but it's essentially the way to randomize all of these different parameters that you set. Because what I was trying to do is going through the whole shot, and then I would just keyframe all of these, all the different varieties of stuff, and then like every couple frames I would just like shift it all around. And by doing that, by adjusting the strength, going a few frames this way, going crazy with it, then when you would play it through, it would essentially travel between all those different parameters. And I only added a couple, but you can see how there was movement just then to the light wrap. And this mask line is horrendous. Again, I should have just used Magic Mask, but you get where I'm going with this. To kind of create movement within the effect, I would have loved an extra probably dozen hours just going through all the different shots and adding this level of depth to it. I think would be really cool. Again, if you wouldn't mind going to check out the full short film that's inside of my YouTube video, you can see how all of these effects eventually turned out, as well as try to spot how many AI shots or how many AI effects were in that video entirely. So check it out in the link or the top comment below. Thanks so much for watching this one. I'll see you guys in the next video.